Welcome to another episode of Comedy Wham Presents. With me, your host, Valerie, and sometime kitty co-hosts Miss Purrington and Mookie are back at home. Oh, I forgot to say that in the last episode. Oh, wow. Okay. We are recording from Fallout Theater Podcast Studio. Thank you, Fallout. ComedyWham.com is your place to go for features about all Austin comedy. In addition to podcasts, Comedy Wham brings you articles, album reviews, show reviews, our advice column, our listing of festivals from across the country and the world, our FPIA contest page, and my articles for the Austin Chronicle and the barbedwire.com, and soon coming articles with the San Antonio Current about the Austin and Texas comedy scene. Our most popular feature is our events page for live comedy shows in Austin, Houston, and DFW, where 100% of the entries you see come from comics and producers. Click the Submit a Show button from the top of the homepage or events page to fill out the survey to get your show listed. It's free and easy. Tag us on your Instagram stories and we'll share your show promo to our followers. We also offer paid promo pushes on Instagram. Speaking of events, come check out my new passion project show, Improv Vintage, where you bring your vintage item and we turn that into fun improvised scenes. They're a lot of fun, and you can follow us at Improv Vintage on Instagram for show updates. Want to support these resources we provide? You can donate to Comedy Wham on PayPal, Venmo, or even Patreon. Click the Support CW icon on our homepage to see the ways that you can help us. Our podcast was launched in 2016 to bring you funny people and their stories. As a fan, I like to delve into a comic's background and motivations, and will usually take a detour along the way. Consider the interview a way for you to get to know the folks that make the Austin comedy scene one of the best in the country. If you like this podcast, please rate and review us. Today we are talking to somebody who has, not many people can claim this, but he has talked to Al Roker, and I guess I should have said that I was going to say this before we recorded, but I'm going to surprise him. And he's even cried on national TV. He performs with Come At Me, which is one of my absolute favorite improv shows in Austin. He's also the brainchild behind Guts, an experimental comedy show. And now Comedy Wham presents our guest, Chism Cornelison.
Woo, yeah, it's
welcome.
me.
It's you. How are you?
Oh my gosh, I'm great. I'm glad that you brought up the crying thing. That's very funny. That is very funny.
Yeah, I told you to do a lot of stalking, and I'm like, oh, this is kind of, it was with your dad.
Yeah, it was. Yes. Yeah. Just for context, I was on The Biggest Loser whenever I was like 19. I'm currently 33.
Okay.
So I was like the youngest contestant ever on the show until the next year they brought on some high schoolers or something for a special thing. But yeah, and then I got kicked off and I cried, and my dad tried to save me or something. It's been a long time, but yeah, we used to kind of go around talking about it, so we used to have a whole spiel about like the whole thing. But yeah, it's been a long time.
Yeah,
but
I mean, it's basically a lifetime ago at this
point.
point.
Oh my gosh, yeah. But yeah, I will say that Al Roker is as cool as you think he is.
Really?
Yeah, I met Rosie O'Donnell, which is my favorite of all of those, because she was like the coolest person I've ever met in my life.
Wow.
But yeah, so I have a couple of little like name droppy moments from that time in my life.
Yeah. And wasn't there there was I never watched the show. I remember.
God bless you. God bless you for that. Everyone's like, oh, I watched the show and I would eat ice cream and laugh when you fell on the treadmill. And I'm like, well, I used to do that before too. How do you think I knew they were casting?
But wasn't there like a woman who's like just brutally mean? Like athletic person?
Yes, yeah. And it turns out, like, big surprise, she's actually not a good person in real life. So it's almost like when you're mean to people, you're just mean. I don't know. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's weird. It's kind of hard to turn that off.
Yeah, she turned like full like anti-vax MAGA person now. Wow. Crazy, right?
Oh man.
Ugh.
Wow.
Never mind. Well, let's talk about something now.
Let's talk about Chism now. All right, Chism, I have an opening question that I ask everybody, and that is one word to describe your past.
Oh, confusing.
Why do you say that?
I would say it's just, like I said, I'm 33. I consider that to be still quite young. You know,
as somebody who is quite old, I do consider that to be quite young.
Great.
I can confirm. Yes.
Thank you so much. But no, it's just, from being on reality TV to, I mean, I've lived in like LA for a little bit, doing that, and otherwise Houston, Austin. I've kind of gone through different like careers and like comedy paths and things. As like a high schooler is when I started getting kind of creative and into creative things, and was like convinced I was going to be like the next Spielberg. Like I wanted to be a movie director, and I saw the movie Super 8 and I was like, that's me. I'm those kids making movies. And then just to get to this point now, it's like, I'm married to somebody who I met doing improv, like really passionate about comedy. And even 10 years in to doing comedy, I don't know, it's just crazy how things can still change. And so that's why I say confusing is like every moment I'm like, I thought that I knew what I liked to do, or I thought that I knew what my passion was. And then things just like keep morphing, I guess,
Yeah.
But yeah.
And that, I can tell you as being, a few years older than you, that will continue to happen.
I'm glad, actually.
I think that's the part of creative, minds is just, let's see where things go.
Yeah. I completely agree.
Yeah,
well, that's good to know. I'm
Yeah.
I was worried like, hey, maybe there's a wall. Maybe this ends. No? Okay, cool.
Nope, it doesn't.
Nice.
It doesn't. Chism, where did you grow up?
I grew up mostly in the Houston area,
Okay. All right.
kind of North Houston, around the Woodlands. I don't know if you've heard of that.
Yep.
Have you had Garrett Buss on this podcast?
Of course.
Okay.
Multiple times.
Me and Garrett Buss, if people know him, we didn't know this, so we started writing some sketches together like last year, and we found out we like are from the same hometown, which is this very small like suburb of Houston called Magnolia.
Okay.
And we are both. This is a little bit about the past too. Is like I come from a pastor family, and so does Garrett Buss, and so we kind of like we had this like weird moment at the Cherry House Coffee House, is that the Cherrywood? Oh my God, where we both were just like realizing this about each other. We're like probably annoying everyone around us. Like, what? You're from there? So anyway, but yes, so like kind of a rural area, but still like about an hour from Houston. So in the grand scheme of Houston, close to Houston. Yeah.
And did you like have some kind of connection to comedy when you were growing up?
Yeah, I mean, I've always been a performer, and I've always liked to like make my own things. So I wouldn't have said whenever I was young that I was into comedy necessarily. I more thought, like making movies, like more like serious scripts, like coming of age type stuff. But as I became a performer, I just realized that's where I kind of fit in more than anything. And then I've always been a huge fan of Saturday Night Live. So like such a huge fan of people like Chris Farley and like Bobby Moynihan. These are like people, those who can't see in the podcast, I am a larger gentleman. So there's a lot of people in that kind of that I like look to them to be like, that's who I want to be like. So it was kind of inevitable, I guess, being a creative person, but it wasn't until I was like 24 that I even knew you could take an improv class, and then, and that there were other people that also like to do that. And I would never have really been a stand-up guy. I like having people around me. So it was cool to like find that at some point. Yeah.
So what was your first foray into performance?
It was in like 5th grade. We had a school like musical.
Okay.
The music teacher was a very ambitious person who wrote her own musical.
Wow.
And I come to think of it now, it's like it's so weird looking back, but it's like she was definitely like 21, right? Mm-hmm. Like she was so young, and she was like, I'm gonna make this musical. So she wrote a musical about Elvis and him like losing his ability to dance. And I got cast as Elvis in that. Yeah. So, I mean, I'm sorry. I know you usually don't have this high profile on here.
Right.
No, but, so that was my first time. And, that was like a big auditorium full of people. And, I discovered like, I was like not that nervous about it. I was more like living for it, so that was really my first time. I also grew up like I said, being from a pastor family, like in the church there's just a lot of reasons for a pastor's kid to be on a stage. They're like, oh, we're gonna bring the whole family up and do a thing, and I was always the kid who was like trying to grab the microphone and like say something into it. So my parents, I think, always knew there was gonna be like something there. And then growing up in like as a boy in Texas, it's like sports are everything,
Right.
football's everything. And so I tried to do sports, but was always like the kid who's like kind of at home learning like a choreographed dance, So yeah, but that was my first time was really like on that stage. And yeah, I had a lot of fun. And then it wasn't until I was in high school that I even thought about doing like real performance again after that. But.
And did you do performance?
Yeah, I became like a full theater kid.
Okay.
Yeah. So we were pretty big into one act play at my school and musicals and stuff. We did. I was always kind of like the second guy in the musical. Like I would be like the friend of the guy or something. Get a couple funny lines, and sing some harmony or something. But yeah, so I did like a few musicals and then got really into it. That's why you suddenly like just find all your friends in that.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was my thing in high school after I kind of got out of the sports world a little bit. Mm-hmm. I wasn't good at sports. Okay, I was bad. I played freshman year, I played one football game. We watched back the tape, which we had never done before up until that point. And I got so embarrassed watching myself that it was so clear I didn't know what I was doing. I was like, oh, you don't know where to run. You don't know what you're doing. And I just went to the coach and I was like, yeah, I'm not going to do this anymore. And he was just kind of like, yeah, you want to like clean the footballs instead? I was like, yeah, I'll do that for a semester. But yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to escape that in Texas, though.
Right.
You can't, especially if you're in the small town. Because I grew up in a small town as well.
Yeah.
And it's like the world revolves around football.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I mean, I was in West Texas for a while when I was like younger, and like truly like an hour away from where like Friday Night Lights was filmed, like that whole world, and it was like the only thing you did on a Friday night.
Yeah.
Like truly the entire town would be there. Yep. And so I just grew up being like, I have to be out there if I want to be anything. But at the same time, I'm like going and seeing the school play and then having like personal revelations watching a guy pretend to be an old man, like, or I'm like, that something speaks to me here, but if I want people to even care about me, I definitely got to be the running back or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So what did you do? Where did you go after high school?
So after high school, I went to, also in high school, I did a lot of like film stuff. So I went to a public school, but we had this amazing teacher who she just loved film. And so she created, you kind of had to put it under a broadcast journalism kind of lens. So we were technically a news team for the school, but she let us kind of run wild. So I became, by my senior year, I was like her aide for like 2 periods. And then I would always be in there like kind of like the director of the younger people. I don't know. She was like obviously running things as the teacher, but I became kind of her number 2. And so that became like a huge thing for me. And so I went to film school. I went to St. Louis to Webster University for a little while. I ended up dropping out because I just started working on film sets and stuff as a PA. And that was kind of also around Biggest Loser time. So I met a lot of people in that industry. And so I just went until I didn't have to go to college anymore, or in my mind at least, right?
So the PA stuff was happening in St. Louis, or you?
No, I did do some like in St. Louis, but then came back to Texas, did a lot like in Austin and Houston, and then ended up moving out to LA. After that. So yeah, once I was in Houston for a while, like this is why I even say the word confusing, because there's like I did a lot of moving around, but once I was in Houston, there was some people that I had met through Biggest Loser that were doing film shoots around. So when like a remote crew would come to Houston, I'd be like a PA for them, or I'd run camera or something. So I made a lot of money doing that, and then I would supplement by like working in restaurants doing random young people jobs, and sometimes not anymore. But yeah, then that's where I started doing improv and things like that. So then it kind of felt natural to move to LA at some point, because it was like, well, I want to do improv anyway. I want to like work on sets. Yeah.
So where did you do improv? Where did you take classes?
Yeah, I started taking classes at Station Theater in Houston. Have you heard of Station? Okay, cool. Yeah, Station is an amazing place. So many great people have come out of there. A lot of people who are now, like one of my great friends from there, he's like huge in the clown scene in LA. You have a bunch of people who have gone off to teach at like Second City and go teach at like UCB, LA and stuff. So it's really cool to see like that. And they're really small and they're about to open a new space. So, you know, just to promote a little bit, if you're in Houston and you want to go see some comedy, Station is the place. But yeah, I literally like was listening to a podcast, heard that you could take an improv class, and Googled improv. And then my birthday was coming up and I was very poor at the time. And my parents were like, what do you want as a gift? And I said, can you please just buy me an improv class? And literally, like, if I hadn't done that, then I wouldn't be married to the person I'm married to. You know, like, it's kind of crazy how it's like completely derailed my life in that moment.
Was she in the station?
Yeah, she was also there. Yeah, so we didn't even, like, we knew of each other. And she was definitely like a big part of that scene. Me and my friend Tanner, who is on Guts as well. We went to high school together. All of the stuff I talked about, he was also a part of. We were roommates at the time. We started doing classes, met all of these great people, met Jamie, who's my wife. And then like 5 years later, we just both ended up living here in Austin at the same time. And so it was like, hey, I don't really know anyone else. And then next thing you know, we're like married. So, you know,
cool.
Yeah.
Wow. So let's go back to those first classes.
I ramble a little bit. I will talk.
I'm going to stop you. Don't worry.
I love it.
When you started taking the improv classes, given that you had the experience with theater, your own performance in theater, through being part of TV shows and being a PA, so kind of the whole film industry, what made improv like really pop for you? What did you love about it?
Oh, that's great. I think the one thing that surprised me the most about it is that it's like something that you do with your friends all the time and you don't realize you're doing it. So as soon as there was like guidelines to it, it really, I don't know, it just opened the door for me to feel like more free in my comedy, or like, I guess, to go back, like my whole life, I knew I was kind of funny, right? Like people would be like, oh, that's funny what you said. Yeah. But I never knew why, and I never knew how, you know? And I started taking an improv class, and then it was just like unlocked this thing where it's like, I kind of already knew how to do this, but since they're giving me these guidelines, now I can actually work on it in a way that like will make me better at it, you know? Instead of just being in a car with my friend and we're just joking around. So it felt like coming to something that I already knew. And then being a theater kid, like I love the stage. And so to add that element on top of it, where there are people who are looking at you and you get that immediate feedback from them, it's the only way you can go from idea to feedback so quickly. Sure. And that was kind of addicting to me in that moment. It's like, oh, I can come up with this. And even if the people are like, oh, no, there's no laugh. I was also like, that's awesome, because I know immediately, okay, that doesn't work. It was funny to me, but it's not funny to them. And that just, it made me feel like I could do it, you know, before. I don't know. I was like, you have to audition for stuff, and then you maybe get on a movie or like get on a play or something. And all of that didn't seem as interesting. And then there's a place where I can go up on stage on Friday nights, because they have like at Station, they would do a ticket system where you just get a ticket and they'd form a team on Friday. Oh, wow. So I wouldn't even have to have signed up. Yeah. So it's like, I could just go and do it. And, you know, the first 20 times I was like, terrified and I'm bombing completely. I remember my first time doing that, one of the performers just didn't talk during a scene, like that was their thing. And the whole time I'm just going, give me anything, please. Please give me something. I remember he came up to me afterwards like, hey, I'm sorry. And I was like, yeah, that would have really helped if it was in the moment. But yeah, just moments like that where I had the realization that, like, even if the worst comes to worst, like, I'm having a good time. So So yeah, and I was always the type of kid who would be like, hey, mom and dad, look over here. I'm going to put on a little like show for you. And then it was like, oh, people actually will sit down and ask for that. Like, you don't have to just force it on somebody. And it's just by taking a class. Like, I don't know. It just blew my mind. I was like, oh, I can do the things that I like to do, and people actually want to watch it. Okay, cool. Or they don't. I don't know. At that point, I'm sure they were like, God.
Okay, so Houston, you get through like their whole curriculum?
Yeah. So I went through. They had like 5 or 6 levels or something.
Okay.
Got through it pretty quick. And then I mentioned my friend Tanner. He took it was like the session after me. So I started, and then I was like, you have to do this. And then I just audited his whole entire class. So I essentially took their program twice. Yeah. And yeah, it was super, super fun. The people that were in that class, like I mentioned, my buddy Cole, who's in LA right now, I met him, like he was 17, and they like made a special exception for him to be in the class.
Wow.
I met him that day. And then we talk to each other every day, still now,
Wow.
so it's like, yeah, I hear about what he's got going on. We talk about it all the time. So it's cool to think back and go like, that started this chain of
for real.
events.
For
Yeah.
real. So you finish, and then you, I guess you went to LA.
Well, at first I moved to Austin after that.
Okay.
After I finished with them for probably close to 2 years, I just performed a lot there. Okay. I never really taught. I coached some classes, some teams, but I just performed a lot. I was in some house teams. Me and my friend Tanner, who I mentioned, and my friend Cole, who I just talked about, we had a group called the Sleepover Boys there that you may know of. Can't Tell Us Nothing, that's from Houston. Have you heard of them? Okay, some people who are listening to this definitely know them. Okay. They're an all-black troupe. They're like the funniest people in Austin. Some of my like best buds from Austin. And I feel so privileged to have been doing this with them, but we used to do like a double show where it would be like 1 week they would headline and we'd open, the next week we'd headline and they would open. Cool. And we did that for a long time. And it was like getting to go up every week and have like great crowds, and then have this improv team that was also pushing us to be better because they were genuinely so good. And we're just like 4 dumb like 20-year-old kids who are like trying to do a Laurent, and we don't even really know what that is. But we the whole time are going like, we think we have something, and we think we can figure this out. And then I don't know. So that time was like the most crucial in my comedy development, because at the same time, me and Tanner are making our own duo shows, and then me and Cole would do like a duo show as well. So I felt like I was getting on stage so much, and it's something that, say I had gone to LA immediately, like I definitely wouldn't have had that time to do that. Because in these smaller markets, I mean, Houston's gigantic, but the comedy scene is very small. Yeah. And to have a stage that's just open for you all the time, and there are people who are dying to see something, and they will come in and they will watch it. It was just very crucial that whole time right after classes into that. The whole time, of course, I'm going like, I want to leave Houston. I don't really want to be here. I grew up around here. I don't know. There's just that thing. Sure. And also the scene is small enough that it was either like, do I stay here and try to build something, which I don't really feel qualified to do, or do I find some place that maybe has more people that are caring about this thing? But yeah, so that was probably that was a couple of years before I ended up moving here to Austin for about a year and a half before I left for LA. And
so what time was this?
Oh my gosh, like 2017.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the improv scene was pretty strong.
Yeah, definitely.
And is that what made you make the move?
Yeah, there was certain people in Houston who had lived here. There's a guy named Callan Lambert who he was did a lot at Old Cold Town, and he used to talk up the scene here a lot. And as like a left-leaning, like weird boy from Texas, like I always wanted to live in Austin. I always thought this was kind of, it's like I get to be close to family, but I don't have to be in Texas anymore. Right. And so I just wanted to come here, but you're right, the scene was like already so huge here. It felt like trying to get in, and I've always thought it was pretty welcoming, but there was so many like people who are already doing so many things. And at that point, I'm proud of it, but the best I could do is get on a student troupe. I started taking classes at Cold Town. And then, this is like 2017, 2018. And I get put on a student troupe with Kyle Irion, Amy Knopp.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know. I can name them off if people know. Like Andrew McCulka is on that team. Minda Way. I don't know if you know Minda. But a lot of people who are now either like off other places, and it just I'm doing Come At Me with Kyle and Amy now, which is just crazy.
That is kind of cool.
Because I was only with them for a little bit. We had a troupe called Prayer Circle that they did a lot after I was gone even. But yeah, I always like forever would watch like Kyle and Amy on Instagram and stuff, be like, oh my gosh, like following their shows. And then now I'm here and I see Kyle 3 times a week. But yeah, so I came here, I did that. Jamie, my wife, she moves here to Austin, and we both had the desire to go to LA. At the time, she was like convinced that she was going to live. This was like van life time in the world. She was convinced she was going to live in a van. And I was like this sweet boy who was like, had a big old crush, and I was like, I'll build it for you. I have no construction experience, you know? I like the furthest I've gone is like on a mission trip where somebody else told me what to do. And so we end up like gutting out this van and we build all this stuff into it. And we stayed at our parents' house for a little bit doing that. They were like, oh, this is just Jamie's friend. Meanwhile, we're like, we're probably in love. But yeah, so we took the van out to LA. Like eventually, this was like, and like think of the timeline here. It's very crazy because like rapidly approaching 2020, right? So we end up getting out to LA, like spring 2019.
Okay.
And we're like convinced we can live in this van. Very quickly is not the case. We end up getting a studio apartment that is literally on the same street, like right behind the Dolby Theater where they do the Oscars. So like that whole like the Chinese theater and stuff. It was just like the cheapest studio apartment. Didn't even have a full kitchen in it or anything. So we were like literally I parked in the same parking garage as people going to the like they had to check my car for a bomb when the Oscars were there so that I could park in my normal parking spot. Yeah, so that was, and then we, from there, I was very privileged. I pulled some connections from my old Biggest Loser days. I ended up working on The Price is Right for a little bit. I was like, help the games producer, and that was just awesome. I got to hang out with Drew Carey a lot, and he's like the coolest guy ever. And then I basically like did that until COVID hit. So
were you doing improv and
I started
along the way?
So at that point I started taking UCB 101. I got through like 101 201. I auditioned for Herald Night. I emailed this person saying like, I promise I've been doing improv for a while. Can you please just let me audition? I was very proud to have gotten through to the callback round on that. Even though I had to get a special exception, did not make it. That callback round, I bombed so hard. It's truly like one of the biggest bombs I've ever had. Like, you know how they're like, drunk people don't play children. Like those are hard to do. I think I was playing a drunk baby. Like I genuinely, it was like one of those things where I was like, this is in the middle of the scene. I'm like, oh, I'm not going to get this. But also like I'm looking out and like Ben Schwartz is in the back of the room. You're like, yeah, how am I going to do good? You know, like how am I going to do well with these people who I'm like, I'm here for 3 months and I can't even believe that I keep running into some of these people. Funny. So yeah, I was very proud to have gotten to the callback round, but I was in the middle of taking classes whenever COVID hit and everything. And they like, when I left LA, they still had UCB shut down. So yeah, I ended up, from there, like COVID hits, We were in that studio apartment for a while. We were back here in Texas for a little bit. You know, all this is kind of just like quick. I tried to do like a Twitch comedy show for a while. Did like a few episodes, you know, like trying to do anything during that time. And then after that, we were like, we're still going to live in LA. Like, this is not going to stop us. So we ended up moving back there, and it was harder to find jobs, did some PA stuff around, but that's when I ended up taking groundlings classes, which were awesome. It's like so cutthroat there. Definitely the hardest comedy time of my life doing that. Just like challenged over and over again. The teacher was awesome, but she was like hardcore. Like they're very serious about comedy there. It's funny coming from a local scene to that, because my experience with UCB was like, oh, this is the same. You know, like maybe these people are from LA, or maybe they were able to get here somehow. But at the end of the day, you have the same types of people there, the same type of instruction, the same type of teachers. They're all just people who love comedy and love improv. You get over to the groundlings, and it's like there are people that are actually trying to do like really specific things there. There's like a group of 7 people or whatever that everyone wants to be a part of, and there are hundreds of people going for it. Wow. So you feel that more there. At least I did, even in the first couple of like classes that you take. And they were like, I don't know, it was hard. I came home every time and I'd be like, I think I'm bad at comedy. Wow. You know, like it was like, I was totally shaken by it. But the teacher was always so nice and so complimentary of me. And I would tell her, and because they do like little one-on-one sessions even with groundlings, I remember telling her, I'm like, I'm struggling. I don't know what I'm doing. And she was like, I don't even know what you're talking about. And I was like, so that just means everyone here is going through this. Because I was like, I would get up and, you know, we're learning basics. Like, oh, like, you do an action and then you comment on something and then you know, it's 3-line scenes. Wow. And I'm going like, I'm like folding laundry and I'm like, how do I fold laundry? Really? You know, it just fully shook me. But yeah, basically, I don't know how far you want to go, but basically after that, like took some groundlings, and then me and my wife just had this realization, like,
was she having a similar experience?
Yeah, she was doing more like stand-up during that time and trying to, so she didn't actually she was kind of done with improv classes by the time we were in LA. I think she had also lived in Chicago for a while and done like IO classes and was a big part of a theater called the Crowd Theater there. So she was kind of like, had done her little go out and learn somewhere else. Yeah. And so she started just getting into like stand-up in LA, did a lot of classes, tons of open mics. LA has this horrible epidemic of like paid open mics that is just pure torture. I wouldn't wish it on anyone. Yeah. And she was doing all that stuff, trying to get on Kill Tony. No, not really. No. Just imagine, Jamie, if anybody knows Jamie, if you imagined her in the Kill Tony line, you would. It's hilarious.
I will say I have seen Kill Tony in LA. So before they moved here.
Yeah.
And it was a gentler, softer version.
Definitely.
Than what it is today.
Definitely. So. Yeah. I had a bunch of friends who were really like, they were like, I'm going to get on this show there. It was still a legitimate path, but it was like it was much different vibe. Yes. It was like almost like a staple there. Like everyone was like, at some point you got to try to do this. Yeah. It didn't feel like divisive as it was now, sort of. Yeah. But yeah, so that was kind of her experience there. And we both just like kind of came to a realization that, like, you know, goes deeper for if you want to talk about this on the podcast, but I just wasn't convinced that I needed to be there to do everything I wanted to do. And I started to become convinced that it was like becoming a detriment to me because, you know, I was there, we'd gone like pretty quickly at like 2021. So a lot of the theaters were like barely opening up. And I think that for a long time I thought, oh, all of this is for a purpose or a goal. Like I'm trying to become a paid comedian. I'm trying to find a job in comedy. And then when I got there and it's like, suddenly my stage time is the lowest it's ever been because I'm not like in this local theater, that I know everybody. I'm like, when I'm doing shows, there's even less people there because right across the street, there's a theater with like the cast of Superstore in it. like for a show. So of course everyone's there because they get to see Colton Dunn, you know? And it's like, so there's like, I started to realize it's like, I don't even feel like when I do a show, I'm getting anything from it. And then I realized like, oh, I'm doing the shows for me. And I think that that's okay. Like I like doing this and I'm not even getting to do the thing I like to do. And she had been feeling the same way. And we both just always had this like special place for Austin. And I like super believe in the comedy scene here, like hardcore. I will like, people will tell me they're trying to leave and people get to do whatever they want. And you can go wherever you want. But like, I will preach like how much I think that like like it may be a little exaggerating, but I'm like, I keep telling myself, would I rather be like in LA right now trying to like get shows up at the PAC and UCB and stuff, or would I rather have been at like UCB in New York in 2004, you know? And to me, I'm like, if there's even the possibility that that's what we have here in Austin right now, it's like, I would much rather be a part of that than, because I think that when I hear those people talk about that time, it's like, that's where I want to be. But if I went to even New York UCB or LA UCB, what these scenes, they're so oversaturated by people that, and a lot of those people, I mean, I don't want to get into hater talk, but a lot of those people are just people whose managers told them they need an improv credit to get onto a commercial.
Sure.
Okay. So it's like, there's a lot of that there. And a lot of those people actually become great improvisers and great comedians. But I just found that I was like, I don't know, now that I've been here, I just feel like it's more authentic to like, people doing like comedy that they actually want to do or they feel is like a part of them, sort of. I don't know if that makes sense. I've been talking so much. Oh my God. So
we're going to take a pause break, actually. Give you a chance to catch your breath. I'm just watching him go.
This is just me.
Like,
this is just me.
Like the Energizer bunny.
Yeah, just imagine.
And he's just going to go.
Imagine living with me.
Oh, Jamie. I have so much more respect for her now.
Thank you.
Okay, so we're going to play this card game, Chism,
yes.
And it's Where Should We Begin? It is Esther Perel. She's a world famous, thanks to Ariel Wesley, psycho, because I can't remember if it's psychiatrist or psychologist. And these are just prompts, so this is going to be super easy for you. So you're going to point to one of these two cards. Go ahead and point.
This one.
Okay, I'm going to read this one to you after you read that one to me.
Okay.
And we're just going to... Cool. I'm going to let me talk for a little bit.
Yay. The person whose death I'm most afraid of.
Jeez, it's already... Oh, this is just, well... at this point... Because I lost my mother earlier this year.
Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. I
lost my dad in 2017. So those are, I'm an only child. So that, you know, it's like, they've already happened.
Oh.
So the only one would be my son.
Oh,
and
yeah.
if that just possibly cannot happen, I would just lock it up and just throw away the key, put me in a bouncy room, and I'd be done for.
Yeah,
so,
you just live the rest of your days.
Yeah, that terrifies me. Every once in a while. So this is, I don't know if you and Jamie are ever going to go into parenthood.
Oh, please, God, no. No, I don't know.
So one of the cool things about technology these days is you can put an app on your phone that lets you follow where your child is.
Right.
And also lets you know how fast they are driving. And every once in a while, I'll look and I'll like, no, you're not. And I will text him and I'll say, there's no reason for you to be driving this fast. And he's like, calm down, Mom. I'm like, no, there's no reason for you to be driving this fast. So, it's
oh my gosh,
a little too much. So I want him alive. This is going to be a really sweet one. Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
Chism, the person who taught me the most about love.
Oh, wow. Oh, my gosh. Wow. I mean, shout out to Jamie for sure. I didn't know about, like, kind of just long-lasting, persisting love like that until her, where it's, like, going through things and having to compromise with one another and do things for each other. Like, there is so much more than I ever thought to a relationship. So shout out to her. But I will say that I have a great dad. I have a really, really good dad. And he really taught me a lot about how to be a very sweet, masculine guy. And he taught me how to love like I think a man should be able to love, which is very caring to other people, trying to put other people's needs before my own. This is a person who spent his entire life helping out other people. And I just got to watch him. And I think that just the group of friends I have around me, the wife I have, I would not have if I didn't have someone to show me that example. So for sure, I would have to say him. Yeah, definitely.
That's so sweet.
Yeah.
That's,
Yeah.
Very, gosh. Dads are the best.
They are.
When they're...
They can be.
They can be.
They can
yes,
be.
They can be, yes.
I will say I know I'm very privileged in that.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
Okay, so when we last left off, you and Jamie were in LA, and you were coming to this realization that, maybe being the small fish in the very, very big pond isn't as nurturing for you as maybe being in the smaller pond and being able to, roam around more freely. So you guys made the decision to come back to Austin.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and we were engaged at the time, so we were also planning a wedding, which played into it. We always knew we would get married here in Austin because this kind of our families are just equidistant kind of from here. So yeah, we came back and there was like tons of wedding planning going on, all of that, and then just started like hitting up all of my comedy buddies from back in the day here. Like I said, Kyle and Amy, like the best people in the scene. Kyle immediately started putting me on shows and stuff, like, and then, me and Jamie both auditioned for house teams at Cold Town, and I was on one for like a year called The Rendezvous that we did like a close quarters format. It was a lot of fun, but the whole time I just wanted to be on Come At Me, so... No, just me shouting out my current troupe. Yeah. No, so Jamie gets in to Come At Me, and then she was on it for like a year before I got on to Come At Me. Yeah, so I had begged them.
You were jealous.
Oh, I was so jealous. I'd come see shows, and like they're having the best time.
Did she know how secretly you wanted to like?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, because I would tell them. Like, hey, if you need a guest, like you can ask me anytime.
I'll be driving Jamie here anyway.
Yeah,
I'm here to support her.
Yeah,
but also I'm gonna be.
But like I do this stuff too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I did that and just immediately like kind of jumped in as much as we could here, both of us, and started to meet people like Xander Noland, like became like a huge friend of mine and just like inspiration to get more involved, I would say. Kyle, of course. So for about a year I was just doing the Rendezvous and mostly just trying to like meet people here. And that proved to be like pretty easy. I mean, there's so many great people in the scene. And I love Cold Town, and until basically like this last Sketch Fest, I got involved. I did all of like the graphics and stuff for Sketch Fest.
Cool.
So, and then just produced in general. And that's kind of where like everything that we're currently doing like birthed from was like this past May. So yeah, that was...
So up until then, you had just been performing in basically other people's troupes or like the class troupes or whatever.
Exactly.
Whatever.
Yeah.
You hadn't like created your own.
Right. And I like for during that time too, I got onto this house sketch team here, and then Jamie and I started writing a bunch of sketches. We just became kind of like got really into sketch.
Yeah.
I love improv, but I started to get a little bored with it after, because I hit my decade since my first class at the end of last year. So I've done it all over the place. Like I was saying with Groundlings, had kind of a weird like time with it, kind of difficult. And so, I don't know. I love SNL. I've always loved it. And I started being like, I think I can just write sketch, took some classes and stuff, and then got on the house sketch team here. And yeah, it was like awesome. We did that for a year. And that really opened my mind to like putting a little more like outside effort into shows. Obviously with improv, you can rehearse and like get forms down and that totally shows. But there's something about like being at home building a cardboard prop that I just started to really enjoy. And then, so yeah, that became super important.
And how was it? So, how was it writing sketches with your wife?
It's awesome. Like we're always coming up with little ideas and stuff. The way we write together is like not at the same time, so we will come up with ideas and then kind of split off, which ones are you excited about, which ones am I excited about, but sometimes we'll even like she'll like read over one of my sketches and she's like, I think I could do something with this, and she just like rewrites it better. And I'm like, yeah, that was probably the better angle to go. So yeah, we work really well together in that way. There's very little like incompatibility creatively. Like just in general, we're obviously very compatible, but creatively, like if she's laughing at something, I am too. So that really helps. And then
are you aware of the there are certain couples that basically got together over improv.
Yes.
That, like one of my favorites that I like to think about is Melissa McCarthy, and I can't remember her husband's name, but they met in improv class and are an amazing writing team.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. Like that, even it's messy, but like the entire first SNL cast, they were always with each other, but no, like that's a great example because, it's like certain duos of people who see each other and go, I am a lifelong partner interested in you. But at the same time, we would have always been doing comedy together as well, which is really cool. We actually, as we were like, should we like date each other? It started because we'd meet up to be like, do you want to write jokes and stuff? And then it was just, I think like, what is that, Stockholm syndrome? You're just like with somebody enough? I don't know. That's how I feel it is on her side. I was like, if I'm around her enough, she will like me, I think. And then one day I was like, it worked.
Now I'm going to have to interview her.
You have to. She's going to be like, actually, can we turn this into like, how do I leave Chism?
No, that's not my role.
No. Yeah, so we work well together. Also, Tanner, who I mentioned earlier, he also wrote those like with us. He didn't actually like physically write. We just would have him, improvise with us until we found something. Okay. We tend to do that a lot. Our sketches would be things that we already probably joked about for like a year, and then we find a way to turn it into a sketch or something. So it's really cool to write with someone you're that close to, because we already have like our little inside jokes. And then there are some of those that were like, other people might actually get this. Sometimes no. There's like a sketch that she and I had tried. We've tried it, I think 3 different times on stage. I am like fully convinced. It's a sketch called Bill Butt Checks. And it's about, I'll give you the rundown. It's about, and you can tell me why it doesn't work. Okay. It's about a guy who works in an office, and a wizard shows up one day out of nowhere. Right. And he's like, and the guy's name is Bill Buttchecks. And the wizard comes to him and he says, Bill Buttchecks, you're the chosen one. Like we've been searching the universe for you. There's only one Bill Buttchecks, and it's just you. You are it. And the whole thing is him just being like, I'm good. I'm not the chosen one. And for some reason, I put it up on stage like 3 different times. For some reason, it just doesn't work. And, like, the concept is so solid. Everyone just heard that, right? Yeah. No, but it's funny because she and I, what's fun about that is she and I can just go like, oh, well, like, we thought it was funny. And at least I have one person in my life who's like, you are funny, okay? Even if Bill Buttchecks will never work.
I day. You gotta just keep trying.
Yeah.
You gotta keep trying.
Yeah. But yeah, she's the best, and we work very well together. And you know, all of that led to like everything that we just know now, like we're always going to be involved in each other's creative stuff. Even though I tell her all the time, I'm like, hey, do you have other people you want to go, like, are you sure you don't want someone else to write with? But yeah.
So being on the house sketch team, are you performing your own sketches, or do you have is it like the Floor is Lava? Do you have your shows, your sketches performed by others? How did that work before?
It was like
Guts?
it was like we perform our own sketches, or we were writer performers in general. So you know, some sketches I wrote I wasn't in, you know how it is. But we try to do it what I would call like SNL style, where when you write a sketch, you kind of direct and produce it, which was such a good like practice for doing my own shows. But yeah, so I started, it was like basically once a month we did the show. So I was writing like a sketch a month that I was fully producing and putting up. Okay. Our first iteration of it, there was only 4 of us. So it was me, and then Grace Pinniger, Mo Christine, and then somebody else. I can't remember now. She dropped out. Okay. That's why I don't really remember. But yeah, very small crew. So we were writing everything and putting it up. And then after like 6 months, we got a whole new influx of people plus us. And that was awesome because now I could write for like 6 people. Yeah. But it was so like such a crash course to go like, we only have 3 writers for this and we have to put on a full show. So at least one of your sketches, if not 2 of your sketches, are going to go up. And then just with the way that was and the time we had, it's like, these are only going to be put up once. And when we did the show, it was pretty much the first time we ran all the way through all the sketches. So we had done individually, like working on them. Yeah. But as far as running a show, like lights up to lights out, like that was the first time we were doing it, was in that, which is just, I don't recommend it, but, but it was a good crash course to know like what works. Also made me have realization about sketch, which is that you just never know really until it's up. You don't, and even when it's up, you don't even know if it was just one little thing somebody said off. It's like, I talk about SNL a lot, but they have the same thing. Like these are world-class comedy writers, and every week half the sketches bomb. Like, let's be honest. Like, and that's always been that way, because sketch is so just like what I thought of at 2 a.m. and think is the funniest thing ever. It's just not going to translate sometimes, you know? Yeah. So that was a really cool way to find that out with people that I thought were great performers and writers. And then, like, also just like knowing I had to put stuff up because these people are relying on me to put up a show. So we would do like we said 30 minutes and it always went so long. But like it was supposed to be a 30-minute show each month. So, you know, we were working on it too much, honestly. We'd get good crowds. The Mutant Night, they still do, it like has improv and sketch. Okay. So you get a cool crowd that they came for improv and then suddenly you have costumes. They're like, oh my God, these guys rock. So
how did Guts come to be?
Yeah, so Guts really like, it was like a culmination of those things. So Jamie and I were writing, we'd call those shows Stench, based on the famous Austin graffiti artist. I don't know if you've seen around. It's everywhere. Okay. You're going to see it now. Okay. And we got into Sketchfest, Austin Sketchfest with Stench. So we created a show at the same time. I started getting into listening to a podcast called Stand Up and Clown by Chad Damiani, who he's been here at Fallout doing some workshops and things. It's just kind of a different way of thinking about comedy with this. He's kind of been called by the publications the godfather of LA clown or modern clown. Oh. So it's this kind of movement that's there. I have a buddy who's really into it, Cole, who I mentioned earlier. And so I started kind of getting these like new ideas. Like I said, a decade into doing comedy, I've done every improv show you can think of. I've done like 3 different type of Armando shows. So I will always love improv, and Guts we make fun of improv a lot because of how much I love it. It's like that kind of a deep love for improv. And I just wanted to try something different. So at Sketchfest, we also had these guys from LA called Business Casual come in.
Love Business Casual.
They're
so
fun.
I was at the show. And that was just,
oh my God.
And I'm a huge Stamptown addict.
Yes.
So
Okay. Yeah.
Moon Tower, I go. Last Moon Tower, I went to every single night.
Oh my God. Oh, I saw. I don't even know what night it was. It doesn't matter. But I like from the moment I walked into that theater until I left, I was just like waves of inspiration.
Yeah.
Just after having been a part of and having seen so many different shows in the past decade, to be completely blown away and surprised by something like that, it was really, really cool.
Yeah.
So I saw that at Moon Tower. We do Sketchfest in May. Business Casual, also a part of Stamptown, so I see them again. Corey, who is part of Business Casual, is like one of the funniest people I've ever met, and he does insane stuff on Stamptown. And so they come in, you saw Cowboys that they did.
Yep.
It's like kind of a clowny play. Yeah, it's a play. And they also did a bit show like later on one of the nights.
Okay.
I've been working on this clown act of this guy. It's the whole bit is that it's his first time doing stand up. And I just pull different like pieces of paper I've written jokes on out of different parts of my body. And they're just bad non sequitur jokes. And then the whole time I'm just reacting like I've never read them before, even though I clearly wrote them 5 minutes before. But all of that came together, and I went to my buddies and was like, we need to do something different like than what we've been doing. So, Come At Me is awesome, but it's to pull in like any day people, every person could come see Come At Me, and they're going to have a great time watching it. You don't need to have any prior knowledge of comedy. You don't need to, you will actually be pleasantly surprised at what you're going to find at this random basement theater. Whereas Guts is more like, I kind of want it to be for the people here at Fallout, or for people who already know comedy, or people who maybe have seen Stamptown or seen Zach Zucker at a show, have you ever seen Chris Gethard's show?
I don't think so, but I know who he is.
Yeah, it's he did this whole public access show for a long time.
Okay, yes,
okay,
of
cool.
course I do.
Yes, okay.
So
I'm a huge fan of that show. It was like my falling asleep at night show for a long time. So it's kind of baked in there. So Guts kind of just came out of all of that.
Austin connection to the Chris Gethard show. Martin Urbano, I don't know if you know that name.
Yes,
he was on Chris Gethard's show for, he did a few things.
Yeah.
And now, of course, he's part of Stamptown, on occasion.
Yeah, his partner is the Business Casual sound person, and she was awesome. Her name is Eliza, and she's so funny.
Oh, I didn't realize that. I've met her because I've talked to him over the years.
Yeah. Yeah, so she was in town, and then I made that connection afterward, and I used to watch, I think the show is called Who Wants 269?
Yes!
I used to watch that on
COVID. Yes.
So I was such a Gethard nerd in that, so I know a lot of those people.
Yeah.
But so we kind of just based on all of those things. I also, to speak on Garrett Buss again, the legend, R.I.P. He's just in L.A. He's just in L.A., but he's dead to me.
And to me, he lives. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I bring out his old skeleton and I put it in the audience for Guts, and I say, rest in peace to Garrett Buss. He's here with us tonight. He doesn't even know that. But he did Explorophoria for a long time. He decided to move, whatever, and then he hit me up saying hey, do you want some time? I have some slots left over from Explorophoria. And I was just yeah, sure, I'll just do it. We had been talking about doing a show called Stench Fest, which may come back at some point. Mm-hmm. It was more like a one-day festival type thing, but kind of based on that Stamptown idea, or what we did with Business Casual at this Sketchfest shows. Mm-hmm. And so really, yeah, so really it just was born out of that, like wanting to do something a little different. And to be honest, I didn't have any ideas for it other than just who I wanted to be on it. And so like current crew is like me, Jamie, Tanner, and then we have Xander Nolan, Kyle Irion, Danny Gonzalez, the legend, Danny Gonzalez in the Austin comedy scene. I tell everyone, I say, hey, I got Danny, okay? And she's the best. And then I have a friend from Houston named Jeff Anderson, who doesn't do a lot of stuff here. He moved here pretty recently, but he's on the show with us. I'm kind of like collecting these weirdos to come be on the show with me. And yeah, it kind of, yeah, that's kind of it. Like, I don't even know what to say about the creation of Guts, because like if you've seen it, you know, like it doesn't seem to have any like direction, but there actually is some behind the scenes. Like I was just talking to some people who are going to be on the next show, and we were showing them the rundown, and it's two people who've seen the show before, and they were both like, oh, you planned this? And I was like, yeah, well, yeah, we do. It's not going to go to plan, but we do have a plan, okay? Also, all those people I mentioned, for about 9 months now, we meet once a week and play like TTRPG games together, like D&D together, basically. Yeah. And we all realize like, oh my God, we have so much good chemistry now. What do we do with this? And it's because you're like, I mean, I recommend anybody who's an improviser, get a group of friends together and do a TTRPG. Just pick somebody to be the DM. Just do it. It is like a 3-hour mono scene that you do together. And you all have to be like in it, and you have to know what's going on, and you have to pay attention. Nothing has helped my improv better than this. That is a exclusive Chism tip. Yeah.
Wow. Very cool.
Yeah.
Well, so I know that the tagline of Guts is experimental comedy. Mm-hmm. So for somebody that walks in, they're just not going to know what to expect, basically. And that's kind of what you want. Yeah, that's kind of what I want. It's audience interaction, like, but not crowd work style. Okay. You maybe pulled up on stage only if you're willing. Mm-hmm. And there's never going to be something we do to make the audience look bad or embarrassed. Yeah. The show is making us look like goofballs, and the audience helps that out. Okay. There's a lot of call and response. At most of the shows at the beginning, we have a section where like, keep an eye out for, or keep an ear out for this soundbite, because you'll have to respond in this way. Mm. So we have one that is from the band Switchfoot, Dare You to Move. There's a clip in that where he says, welcome to the fallout. Okay, that's in the song. Okay. And so when Xander hits welcome to the fallout, everyone in the crowd has to yell theater. All right, just real basic. But I find that like getting the audience in, letting them realize that like this is like, if you come at me, unless we talk to you, please do not talk. You know, please shut up. Yeah. Like, you know, like we will tell you when. With Guts, it's like if somebody starts heckling, like I will make it a part of the show, because I want the audience to realize they are a part of this as much as we are, and it almost becomes a little bit of like a party at that point or something. And so that's mainly what to expect. There's going to be something messy that happens. The way we do bits is like, I'm not writing all the bits. I maybe write one bit of the whole thing. I'm more of like a curator of the bits. And I just invite all of my, cast to come on. Usually the way I set it up is I give them their time, but they're welcome to interrupt parts of the show. So it's kind of based on, if you want to get real comedy nerdy about it, it's like entrances and exits. That concept from sketch comedy is basically the whole show. So it's like, how do we have somebody interrupt at the most inopportune moment? Uh-huh. How do we have somebody leave in the most extravagant way? And anything that happens in between is, you should have a strong point of view, but we're not going to plan it out. You just kind of know what your point of view is. Okay. And it leads to like, I could talk for a long time about how magical I think like getting
kind of breaking the rules a little bit is of like improv, breaking the rules of sketch. You're not supposed to like address the fourth wall. You're not supposed to like, for sketch, it like should be completely scripted, you know, all of this. But something magical happens when you leave this like room for, well, I guess like same with improv. When you leave this room for anything to happen, suddenly connections start to happen you don't realize. Mm-hmm. So in this last show, I think a good example is we had somebody playing like a scary clown throughout the show as a Halloween theme. And we also had a guy playing a vampire, right? Okay. And the person playing the clown, like, she didn't know much to do. I just said, like, do whatever you want. I just want you to kind of be around and show up, and people can notice you. And so she thought it would be funny to order a pizza during the show. So she orders a Domino's pizza and garlic knots to come during the show. And she was like, oh, I just think it'd be funny to pass out pizza as a scary clown. And so I look over at some point, I'm on stage, I look over and suddenly there's pizza in the audience, which the joy it brought me to have an unexpected audience pizza was amazing. And then we have this guy, Brian McCon, playing vampire on stage. So Kayla, who's playing the clown, she has this realization like, garlic knots, vampire. So she just starts pelting him with garlic knots, right? And of course he's reacting as he should, being like, no, the garlic knots. And I'm like, this is what it's all about. Because nobody knew she was going to bring pizza. There was no like discussion about that bit beforehand. But the fact that you can do improv bits, but you have props and you have things, I just feel like we're all so attuned to like what's going on that those things start to come out. Like you just see the connection, you know? It's really cool to leave it open like that. So I don't know. Guts is like a complete experiment in general. So I invite everybody to come see it, to see just how we do it this time, you know? It's so much fun. We talk about it like amongst our friends all the time. It 100% is mostly for us to have a great time, but it just turns out that everybody who comes like has a good time. So
Sam Pierce, he did a write-up of I think your September show. And
oh my God, thank you. That was so cool. Thank you, Sam. That was so nice.
When I read it, I'm like, well, I want to go to the show. So I have this terrible rule that if the show happens past 9:00, likely you're not going to see me.
Yeah,
and I'm
that's
like,
fair.
Oh man. But you have a New Year's Eve show.
We do, yeah.
So
maybe. Which is a classic stay out late night.
Yeah, right,
you know.
Right.
I'm excited. We're gonna try for that show to get as many people as possible to perform. I want it to be like a big bit show, basically, and get like Brian McCon and Joe Foster do Local Freaks here. It's a fun show where they dress up people and do things. I'm trying to get them to incorporate some of that into it so we can have more than just Guts. It's going to be a little bit more of like a celebration. And we're hoping to be on stage when the ball drops so that we can do like a big thing. It's going to be a big blowout, like fun thing. And it'll also kind of be a party. So we want people to realize like when you're coming, like you're going to get a cupcake. So might as well come to the show. So I'm excited to do that. We're in the planning stages. I have people that are going to be in town. Like my buddy from LA is going to be in town. He's going to come in and do the show. So we're trying to get some people that maybe would only be here for the holidays to kind of come on. We'll see how many people we get. I'm still talking to a bunch of people, but trying to get plans made now because like people make plans that night. So whatever. But so that one will be like specifically New Year's Eve themed, you know, the whole thing is me trying to put on the show. So people who have seen the show will know that it's basically me just reacting to other people ruining the show, and that's the show.
That's the show.
I don't know. This is a weird show to talk about, to be honest.
If you don't understand it, then that probably means you should check it out.
Yeah, honestly. Yeah. Please. God, please. Well, I'm doing all this talking for what?
Right? And I'm doing all this listening for what? So people support Guts. Okay. Is there anything we haven't talked about that you want people to know about you?
Oh my gosh. No. No. I don't know. No, I don't know. I don't know.
Okay.
Now I'm like, what did I even say?
So much.
Yeah.
Are you ready for your closing question?
Yes, let's do it.
One word to describe your future.
Blindingly bright. That's a hyphenated word. No, I hope at least. Yeah.
I would have also accepted gutsy.
Gutsy. That is definitely true. Can we go back? Actually, can we go back?
No,
Dang it, you're better than me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that is a wrap on Comedy Wham presents Chism Cornelison Chism Tells, where we can find you on social media and promote. And thank you, by the way, for getting the Guts ATX social media. I think that was kind of our prodding.
Definitely. Yes. You can find me. I'm on Instagram at Chism the Man. Chism is spelled CHISM. And then you can find at guts.atx on Instagram. We'll be posting all the shows there. My personal Instagram, I guess, is just a comedy promotion Instagram at this point.
Yeah.
I don't think I've posted a real photo in years. So, so just know if you follow me, that's what you're getting.
Yeah.
And come at me. Yes. Come at me. Gosh. Oh, no, Come At Me is every Saturday. It's at 8:30 and it's always a good time. It is deceptively fun. Like you come in thinking you're going to get just a normal improv show about your Instagram, and it is a lot more than that. It really is. There's Kyle and Amy do such a good job. Kyle is like the craziest host you'll ever see.
Absolutely crazy.
And you might, if you share your Instagram, get lightly toasted. We don't say roasted, but you might get a little toast on you. And people love it. It's really fun.
Yeah.
So, I love that show.
And I think it might be close to 2 years, but I actually had Kyle, Amy, and I forgot his name. He's actually the one that came up with the
Isaac.
Isaac.
Yeah.
On the podcast, so you can actually listen to them talk about the whole Come At Me thing. And of course, that's when I first met Kyle and realized, oh my God, this man is insane.
He's a crazy person.
And now I love watching him on stage. He's one of my favorite, like just jumping on chairs and just being
oh my gosh,
so bold. I love that.
I feel like truly privileged to have him as a creative partner because he always is pushing the boundaries. Mm-hmm. He's so much fun. Yeah. And what a handsome man. Oh my God. I'll say it. I'll say it. What a handsome guy.
I won't disagree with you. All right. Well, we hope you've enjoyed learning about how Chism got to be the comedic genius that you heard today, just as much as I have. Time will tell. As I have. This has been Comedy Wham presents Chism Cornelison. I'm Valerie, and that's been funny. Thank you, Chism.
Thank you.